a look at that. What a nightmare. Hi everyone, and welcome to this latest video. I'm going to be working on this child's rocking chair. This is the second child's rocking chair I've done recently, probably in the last 6 months. And the reason I'm doing this one is the one I did previously was for my cousin's little boy, Teddy, for his first birthday. And my other cousin has a little boy called George. And Teddy and George fight over the chair that I did. And also the two sisters have a friendly rivalry, and she wants me to do one for George. So that's what I'm going to do. It's a slightly different chair than I'd worked on last time. It is a child's chair, it's a little bit bigger, and this one is upholstered, the other one wasn't. So I hope you enjoy the video. As always, thanks for watching, and sit back, relax and enjoy. Firstly, the obvious thing is this rocker. Now it was loose, but as I've moved the chair, that's just broken off. So that needs fixing. There is a screw holding in this stretcher, which there shouldn't be, it should just be glued in, so that's been put in afterwards. The upholstery needs some attention, so I've got some really nice upholstery to do this. Every joint is loose. All the back is wobbling. So all these slats will probably need re-gluing. I'm hoping they're not nailed in. It all appears on first glance to be solid oak. You can see there one of the other screws, and you can see by putting that screw in how it's split the wood. So we'll sort that out. It's not in terrible condition at all, but obviously we're going to make this special for George. I'm going to do something on the back here for him. The bottom, it looks like a thin piece of plywood, that, so I'm going to see how strong that is. We might replace that or just strengthen it up. So we're going to remove all that and put new stuff on, and that's it. So first thing to do, get this upholstery off and let's start disassembly on this piece. Hopefully there's not a load of nails in here and it won't be a nightmare, but we shall get cracking. These are a bit of a pain to get out when they get rusty. Goodness me. Right. I won't bore you with the rest, I've got to go all the way around this. I'll be back in about an hour. Right, I think I've finally got all those off. Right, and that's what we were left with. Get rid of that. This is the plywood seat. I'm not too sure why it doesn't fit like very well. Doesn't fit too bad on that side. Terrible on this side. Now that might be something to do with the joints, or it might need a new board cutting. So let's break this down, let's disassemble it and see where we are. I think the best thing to do is take this off first so I can get to all the joints. Right. That's me. Right. Yeah, look how loose that is. That's loose. As is that. So they're all loose. They are all loose. And this one has got some tape, and I can see why. Can you see there? There's a crack. Zoom in. So that's the repair that somebody's done. Just put some electrical tape around it. So we'll need to have a look at that as well. Let's have a look what's behind this. Yeah. Oh dear. That tiny slither of wood in there, I'm hoping I can get it out of that joint easy, because if I can't, I might have to just inject some glue into there and clamp it, but ideally we want to take that all out, but we will see. Go. So this is the leg I've just taken off, and you can see the dowel in the wood. This is the one that had broken, so that needs a new dowel and one of these putting in. I don't know whether you can tell, but you can actually see this chair is skewed that way. It might be difficult to see on camera, but it's like the whole thing is twisted that way. And that's more than likely because all the joints are loose. I've managed to get these back joints out. This one is definitely nailed, as I can see that one is. I think if I twist this, I might be able to snap the nail. There we go. There's a lot of broken wood on this. A lot of broken wood. Again, try and bend the nails. Yeah, that wasn't the plan. So twisting it normally pulls the nail through, or actually snaps the nail inside, so you can then pull it out. But this one has done this. So I will keep hold of that, and that'll just glue back on, no problem. But it's just the problem with nails, this. They're really, really difficult to get out. No worries, can sort that. This does not want to budge. But it's a little bit loose, so I need to get this off really. It's a bit of a mystery, this. There is some glue there that looks like some sort of polyurethane glue, or epoxy even. Which again is a pain. And look, you can see all the dowels broke in there as well. Right, probably end up on Plan Z with this one, but let's have a look. I really don't know why this isn't coming out. Hey! Yeah, it looks like it's got some sort of polyurethane glue on it, but it wasn't tight enough to leave it, it needed to come out. There's one. Who's daft? You're daft. Very cheeky. Thank you. Thank you. Ooh, coming up with the camera. She hates it when I laugh at her. Yeah, shut up, you. Shut up, you. Right, come on, let's get on. No, I'm not going back in. Right, you can see that's loose. Now ideally I just want to be able to pull this out, re-glue it, but that's got a nail in it. So I'm just going to try and do as little damage as possible, which is easier said than done. I bought these tiny little pliers to try and use these for exactly this job, but I don't know whether they're going to work. Ooh, dearly. It's just damaging the wood a bit, but I can sort that. Yes, look at that! Haha! Do you know what? Brilliant. They were dead cheap, and that normally takes me an age and I do a real load of damage. Happy with that. And let's just see. That's how easy it is when there's no nails and the glue's gone. Brilliant. Yet again, nails in the top. Brilliant. There we go. Yes. Oh, look at that. Look what I've just done. Another repair I'm going to have to do. That must have been cracked because that broke really, really easily. Oh well. Never mind. Keep those bits. Oh dear. The disassembly has resulted in quite a few repairs needed. There's one on that. That split a little bit getting that nail out, so I need to repair that. That completely broke, so I need to repair that and stick that back onto there. I need to repair that and that. So there's more repairs to do as well once I get further into it, but let's do these first. The reason I'm gluing this back on is because this joint is really, really solid, and if I start pulling and twisting at this, I'm just going to mess this joint up even more. So I'm going to glue this one in place. Okay, let that dry now. Right, these have glued okay, but off camera there it's still drying. I used the tape on one of these, on this one actually, on this brake, and it was broke in two places, and I used that insulation tape, and I don't think I had enough clamping pressure. When I took the tape off, it was quite loose, so I tried to manipulate it again, put some more glue in, and it just broke again. So what I've done, I'm gluing a small part on first. I'll let that dry and then I'll re-glue this and I'll clamp it. It'll just be easier that way and it'll be a stronger repair. Next thing I need to do is sort these rockers out. I need to remove these, but the main thing is I need to remove this broken wood dowel. So hopefully I can get through the bottom and knock that through, but we'll see. That might need heating. Nope, doesn't need heating. That was easy. Just need to make a dowel for that now. I've got this piece of oak. I know it's square. It won't be for long. So I just need to cut it roughly to size. And I've measured this and it's 12 millimeters. The dowel needs to be 12 millimeters. So I just need to cut this. Right, I've got this. It's called a dowel maker and it's just a little blade and you push the wood through with a drill and this blade cuts it into a circular or a cylindrical shape, so into a dowel. I've never used this. I've bought this, I've never used it. I don't know if it's going to work or not, but let's give it a go. I just sanded it down just so it could fit into the 12mm hole, so let's give it a go now. There we go. 12mm dowel, oak. I'll leave the link to this in the description. I can't remember where I bought it from, but it's probably Amazon or eBay or something, but I'll leave a link in the description. I've just finished sanding these arms and straight away you can tell these have been handmade because that one is slightly thicker than that one for some reason. Not too sure why. The other thing with this one, it's got all these ugly sort of dints. Looks like somebody's been stabbing something in it. Now I've done a bit of a sand over it. I don't want to sand too much because it's already thinner than this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some water on this area and just use an iron to try and raise the grain a little bit. See if that works and then I can sand that off. And I think what I'm going to have to do is use some oxalic acid on these. In fact I might do the whole chair, I don't know. So let's give that a go and see if that works. Right, let's leave that to dry and I'll have another look at it. Still a few little dints in it there, but where you can see the black marks there, I can't actually feel any dints, it's just stained on there. That's where the nail was, so I'll have to fill that. So I'll try some oxalic acid, see if that works. This is that brake that I had to repair in a couple of sections. Let's have a look. Goodness me, can't find the end. It's like trying to find the end of a piece of sticky tape when you're wrapping your Christmas presents. There we go. Oh. Come on! Why is it the simplest things? Oh. I cannot find the end. Oh, there we go. Should have done that in the first place. Right, there's the brake. I'm going to have to strengthen that up. Oh, I don't think that's going to... Yeah, I don't think that's going to hold. It's not very good at all. No, that's terrible. No, I'm going to have to do something different here. Okay. Plan B. Right, plan B for this brake. I might need a plan C, but we'll see if this works. This is polyurethane glue, especially for wood. And what this does, it's stronger than the normal wood glue, but it also slightly expands for brakes that don't press together, that's got a slight gap, because it slightly expands, fills the gap and hardens. Now this sets in about 5 minutes. So I'll give this a go now and see how we get on. Just leave that to dry now. Come on, let's get to work. Excited to start the day. Tea. Come on. Here. What do you want? What do you want? This is what she wants. Good girl. She's not been very well. She's been diagnosed with a chronic condition called hypothyroidism, where she's got an underactive thyroid. Now I know I've just given her a treat, but that's generally why she's overweight. And she's got problems with her skin and her ears, and apparently it's all down to this. So at the moment we're just trying to get her on the right level of medication, and then she's going to be on tablets for the rest of her life. And yeah, come here please, Desi. Good girl. But she's still a happy little soul. She's going through the ringer at the minute, but she never stops whacking and being happy. Do you? Hey? But we'll get her sorted, don't worry. Come on then, let's get to work. There we go. Yeah, that feels really solid now. Right, new plan with this joint. I'm going to have to make a new one, or make an end and cut that at an angle and glue it on. But I'm going to cut this off first. There we go. Right, I've got the rough shape there. I just need to round over these edges. Right, after a bit of shaping on the sander, I've managed to get it roughly the same as that. Tapered it a little bit more than that, but that'll be fine. Not pretty, but this is underneath the upholstery and you can see the state of the other ones anyway. I just wanted one that would fit and was similar. So yeah, happy with that. I've just been started sanding these, and then I noticed, see inside that hole, there's wood broken off. And same again, in that hole, there's wood broken off in there. So I went to look for the piece of wood that sat in those holes to see if the ends had broken off. Now I found this is the piece. Now what I've noticed is, this has obviously been replaced in the past because this is pine and these are beech. What I think they've done is they haven't taken it, well I know what they've done, they haven't taken out this residual wood. So they've made this piece shorter than the original and it just about fits in that hole. Well, you can see that, which is why they then screwed in from the other side to hold it in place. So there wasn't really any glue holding that in place, it was just the screws. But the problem with that is that that hole will then be deeper, and this has been cut for this depth, so that'll sit in further. And I'll show you what I mean, bear with me. This is the corresponding piece that sits above. So in theory, that needs to be the same width as that because it's at the front. Hopefully you're following this. I don't know whether I'm explaining it very well. But as you can see, when you hold them up against each other, that new piece that's been cut is shorter. So I can either stick with the rough way this has been repaired previously or completely change that, and I'm sure you can guess which option I've chosen. I've ordered some beech dowels for that and they are coming hopefully in the next day or so. So what I'll do is I'll clean these holes out now, get them ready for the new dowel when it comes. I hope that makes sense. I think I explained it okay. Apologies if I didn't, but if you got any questions just ask me in the comments. These little grooves here have got paint and stuff in them, so this is what I'm using to get it out. This is a labour of love. I hope my cousin Emily and George appreciate this. I'm not bothered. I know he'll love it. I'm just filming. Daisy's bored. So that's it. All disassembled, all repaired, all sanded, and I think because quite a lot of this wood is got marks on it from the old stain and a couple of other marks, I think I'm going to give it a coat of oxalic acid, so that's what's next. This is GILBOYS oxalic acid, and I've got something really exciting to tell you about GILBOYS later on in the video. This is one of my favourite products on the market, GILBOYS stuff, and something very exciting, well it's exciting for me, has happened. So I'll tell you shortly in the video what that is, but for the time being, we'll give this a coat of oxalic acid, we'll neutralise all that with water, let it all dry, and then we can give it a full treatment of a 240 grit sanding. That's assuming nothing else needs doing after that, so that's what we'll do now. Before we start, the eagle-eyed of you may have noticed that I labelled these up previously, but obviously if I'm going to put oxalic acid on, I can't have tape on there, so what I've done, is I've just put, that was number 4, so I've put 4 little marks on the end, 2 on there, that's number 2, and obviously they're going to sit in the frame so you'll never see them, just so I know which is which. Right, let's go. I'm just wiping this one back down, and I've cleaned out this crack. This crack had a load of paint in it, can you see that? So I've tried to clamp to see if that will pull together, and it won't with a hand clamp. So I'm going to try something a little bit different, get some glue in that, and then see if we can push that together so the glue will hold. I'll just leave that for, let gravity let it flow down into the gap, and then we'll clamp it. You can see that's gone right into the gap, so there we go. Shove this down there. I don't want this to fill with glue. Leave that to dry now. So let's see if it's worked. So far so good. Yeah, it's pulled it in a lot more. Tiny little bit of a gap there, so we'll just put a bit of filler in that. First thing I need to do though is know how deep this goes in to there. So I'll just use this, put a little mark. So that sits in there by that much. That's a good fit. Just a slight taper at the end there, which matches the others. That's all the way in, so I just need to do the same on this side now. There we go. We're getting there now. I've done a dry fit on this now, there's no glue on anything. And it's driving me absolutely potty. It's just not sitting straight. I don't know if you can see, but that is sort of leaning over. I've tried loads of different things, changing these, thinking I've got them the wrong way round. I hadn't. I've pulled it in, I've knocked it with the hammer. It was actually all cockeyed when I started, and I just thought, well, re-gluing it all, cleaning out all the joints and everything would sort that out. I've just noticed there's a little gap there, so let's try and pull this in a bit. Still a small gap there. Oh. What a nightmare. I've put too much pressure on the clamp and broke the wood. Right. I'm losing my patience with this chair. I'm a patient fella when it comes to restoration, but this chair is doing my head in. Right, I'll have to sort that out now, but the only thing I was going to say is this rocker is all twisted, it's warped. So this one is quite straight. I've noticed this one is twisted. Now I didn't think it'd affect it that much, but it might be that that's causing the problem. I'm going to have to fix that. I'm going to take this off and have a look at this, but I'm just going to count to 10. Right, after a lot of swearing off camera, I've taken this rocker off. And I don't know whether you can see this, but so that's the back of the rocker, and there is a bit of wear on that side, which you'd expect because of it rocking. But if I hold that straight, look how twisted that is. When it rocks, it's not just rocking like that, it's rocking side to side, and it also means these holes aren't aligned either. That looks okay up to about there, and then that bit there's all twisted. I'm going to soak this in water, hopefully saturate the wood, and then I'm going to try and put a splint and clamp it and let it dry and see if that helps any. Failing that, I'm not 100% sure. I might have to make a new one, but I haven't got a piece of oak that big. And to be honest, the amount of money I'd pay for a piece of oak to cut that out, the chair's not worth it. So hopefully I can sort this out, because I don't want to give up on this. If I do, it'll be the first piece of furniture I've given up on. Well, right, let's try that. That's fully submerged now. Right, it's at the end of the day anyway, so I'm going to leave that overnight to fully soak, just so I've got a better chance of trying to straighten it. Wish me luck. Leave that to dry. It'll probably take a good 24 hours, 48 hours for that to dry naturally. I've just marked up these slats because I'm now going to go inside and design something and then come back out and we'll work on that. Right, it's the moment of truth. It's definitely improved. But my main goal was to get these holes to be pointed in the right direction, and before they were sort of twisted. It actually looks like it may have worked. I'll be able to tell more once I start assembly. This chair has driven me potty. I tried that trick by straightening up this leg. It worked a little bit, but it was still all cockeyed and wasn't rocking properly. I've looked at this that I've made. Have I made that too long? I've re-measured everything, I've measured the square, I've pulled it all together, I've done so many things. It's taken me about an hour to get it to this point. This bit is also warped, it's twisted a little bit. This runner is twisted a little bit. Now, it's also, when it's been made, this runner on the right isn't as deep as this runner on the left. So it's all over the place, this chair. So what I've done, I'll show you what I've done. I've made some shims out of popsicle sticks just to try and level it all up to see where I'm at. And as you can see there, it's a good, I don't know, 10 mil, something like that I need to make this chair stand upright and rock properly. So what I'm going to have to do before I start gluing it all together, I've got a thickness now there. I'm going to have to glue a new piece of wood onto the bottom of this, re-drill the dowel, and then hopefully that'll do the job. This is why I don't like doing chairs, because even though they seem simple, there's so many joints and pieces to them that they are just an absolute nightmare. Good job I love my my little George. So all I need to do now is put a hole in this, and I'm going to insert a dowel probably to about there, and then up through the rocker, just so it's got quite a bit of strength. Now I've got this piece in at the back, it finally rocks properly. So I just need to glue it all up. Put plenty of glue in. I might need to have to reinforce a couple of the joints, but I think I'm going to have to accept that it's never going to be 100% perfect, which is hard to do, but it's an old piece of furniture. I think, like I say, it's handmade, and I'm sure he'll love it. This hide glue, right, this is where gravity is not my friend. Right, I've managed to glue all this now. I've clamped it where I want to clamp it. I've put this panel back on. It rocks back and forth, straight. Everything else is squared off. The measurements are all true. So I'm going to leave that to dry now, and then on to the next bits. Are you on one? Oh dear. Come here, you. Right. Right. What? Look at that face. I was going to do just a clear finish on this, but there's so many different species of wood on it. There's oak on it, there's beech on it, there's pine on it, and there's quite a few little marks that I couldn't get out. I'm going to stain it, and I'm going to use a walnut stain. Right, all the stain has dried now, so the next step is to give this a top coat. But before I do, I want to share some exciting news with you. This is my exciting news. If you've watched my channel for a while now, you'll know one of my favourite products to use on this furniture is by a company called GILBOYS. And the reason I initially tried the GILBOYS products is because I've watched their YouTube channel for a long time and I've learnt so many things regarding furniture restoration from them. And Simon Gilboy, who is the restorer and the owner of GILBOYS, is just an unbelievable restorer. Antiques, priceless items, conservation work, all sorts of stuff. So I tried their products, absolutely loved them, really good quality at a really good price and with a good emphasis on sustainability and in the environment. So just out of the blue, Simon contacted me and he'd watched my videos, really liked the channel, saw that I really loved his product and asked me if he could send me some of his products and offer all of you a discount on anything you buy via my channel. I couldn't believe it. This guy has been like an unofficial mentor to me and it was a real honour for him to contact me. So he sent me some of these things. I'll leave a link to the discount code in the description of this video and I'll continue to do so in all future videos. So let's just have a look what he's sent me and then I'll show you those in action. He sent me some of their hard wax oil, which I've used numerous times, and this stuff is so easy to apply, gives a really lovely finish and a nice hard wearing durable finish to the piece. With that you also get a little pack of sunflower seeds for the bees, because this is made with high quality beeswax. And if you order directly from GILBOYS, then you get a little handwritten note thanking you for your purchase. This is a really nice touch. He's also sent me a cabinet scraper or a card scraper with the GILBOYS logo, and this is made from high quality Sheffield steel. I think you saw me use this earlier. This is the oxalic acid granules. Each thing you buy comes with a help and advice booklet, which is again really high quality and very useful. And this, look at the packaging. All this is fully recycled packaging. And this is their beeswax polishes. And these polishes, just look at the presentation on this. All in these beautiful Milner jars. This is their rose gold. So this has got a tint. This is the clear, and this is their antique gold. So those two give a little different hue to the piece, but they are just so nice. In the same box, in that kit, we get this. A little wad of 4-0 steel wool for applying the polish. Some open weave buffing cloth to buff that off once it's complete. And look at this. A little hand-wrapped gift. Let's just see what that is. Like Christmas. And look at that. This is the beeswax, but this is like a fill stick, and these are 100% beeswax fill sticks. Just look at the detail on that. The emphasis is on quality with this company, and I'm so pleased that Simon reached out to me, and I can't wait to continue using this product. So I'll leave a link in the description to the discount. Check them out. There's so much stuff on there. Also check out their YouTube channel, GILBOYS. I'll leave a link to the channel in the description as well. So thank you, Simon, for getting in touch. These products are amazing, and I will now get on with the restoration. You can apply this with a brush, a cloth or a roller, but you don't need a lot. You certainly do not need a lot. It goes a long way. Look at that. So nice. So all the hard wax oil has dried now, and it's just, I wish you could feel this, it's so smooth. It's such a lovely finish. I could just stop there. I'm not going to, because I want to use this product. This is the GILBOYS Premium Beeswax Polish, and this is in the Antique Gold. So I'm going to use that. I'm going to apply this with some 4-0 steel wool, put it on, leave it for about 20 minutes to half an hour, and then I will buff it off and we'll see how it looks. Right, so I've left the wax on now, the beeswax, for about 20 minutes. So just use this open weave cloth to buff it off. Look at the hat. Look at that. Brilliant. So I'll just go over the whole chair now and then it's ready for upholstery. This plywood, even though it's a decent thickness, does have a tendency to sort of bow when you sit on it. And I know this is only for George, and he's only a little lad, but it is wide enough for a bigger bottom to sit on it. Now, I tried sitting on this before I started work on it, and it creaked. Now, that might just be because of me, but I think a reasonable thing to do would be to put a bit of a strengthening brace. I found this piece of wood, which is an offcut. There you go. That fits really nice in there. This is wedged in. Obviously, I'll now fix this in place and it'll just give this a bit more rigidity. Right, I just need to see if I can refit this now. Obviously I'm joking. Out with the old and in with the new. Love this. If you've watched my channel before, you know I love ducks, and I just think this will last a little bit longer than putting anything too childish on it. And I know my cousin Emily's going to keep this for a long time, so our colour schemes are neutrals. There's little pops of colour here and there. I just think it'll look really nice for George, so that's what I'm going to use. Let me know in the comments if you like it. Right, this is the tricky bit. I'm not very good at corners. I think I've said this before in my videos. I'm not great at upholstery, so I'll do my best. So that's not too bad. I'm going to have to do something with that. I'll probably have to take that staple out and just tidy that up a bit now I've done this other corner. But I'll get it as good as I can. Obviously I'm not happy with that, so that's gonna have to go. Right, I finally got all the corners done now. As neat as I can. Make sure all the sides are as straight as possible. It's nice and tight and firm. So all I need to do now is just trim it all up, add some finishing touches, and then I'm pretty much done. Wow, this is a long video. So if you've lasted this long, I'd like to say a massive thank you. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you would like to support me and Daisy and our channel, then I'll leave all the links in the description. If you've enjoyed it, then please hit the thumbs up button. It really helps the channel. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. So, hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. And here's the final reveal.